Welcome to RidgeLife. I'm Tim, and today we're going to change the fabric on our camper trailer awning. It's going to be an easy job. We're going to show you how to do it. Let's do this. We can see our old camper trailer awning has seen its better days. It's starting to rip on this one side. That's why when it was retracting crooked, and it is needing attention all the way around. Even the valance there is ripped out. We can see that on both sides there. And then of course on the top there we've got damage as well. So let's go ahead and get this old canopy gone. When you're ordering your replacement canopy, you don't measure it by the fabric width, you measure it by the upright width. That's the size of your canopy. So in each upright, the center to center, mine's 12 feet exactly. So when you order a 12-foot canopy, it's going to be an 11-foot 2-inch width fabric. Going to fit perfectly. We ordered the Suncode RV awning from Amazon. It is a 12-foot by 8-foot. This is a WA2006. Again, you have to measure your awning, see what size you need. Comes with a lot of good little features here. Has these S hooks. This is an extra. Along your valance here, there's extra guide holes, and you can slide these valance hooks down there. I'll show you at the very end how we use those for accessories. That's pretty awesome. Comes with a new pull cord. This is a guide plate. So when you're putting in these rods to hold on your valance there, you guide that in, push that in over the fabric. We'll show you how that works. It does come with the two cables, the two rods there. One is for the top of the canopy and one is for the bottom and the valance. Put that there. And then of course we have our beautiful vinyl heavy duty camper awning. Let's go ahead and get this fabric put in, get this job done. The tools you're going to need are pretty simple. The only thing that's probably not in your toolbox now is a rivet gun. This is something you'll probably have to go out and get. You'll use it on several different jobs. The rivets are very easy fasteners to use. So you got a standard rivet gun, has different attachments to fit your size rivets. And the rivets we're going to be using today are standard on most of these Canopy end caps. They are 3/16, that's the diameter of the rivet, and the head is 1/8 of an inch. So 3/16 by 1/8 is the rivets we're going to be using, and I'll show you how to use that in the video coming up. You're also going to need a couple sawhorses. When you lay your canopy down, you're going to want to put it on a sawhorse. You don't want to drop it in the ground. It's going to make it so much easier for you to work on the end caps and the spring and all that. Of course, you're going to need a ladder. 2 if you got a buddy. This job is really not a one-person job. It is really a 3-person job. I did it with 2 today. 3 makes it so much easier. You'll see when you start sliding the canopy, the fabric onto the 2 sections, you really want 3 people. 2 is how I did it today. So a ladder helps. I used an impact driver. You can use standard wrenches. The sizes I used are 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 7/16. I used impact driver. You can use wrenches. That'll work for you too. I recommend a punch or a 4-inch very small screwdriver. That's going to be used to stick in one of the end caps to keep the spring from spinning. You're going to need a tape measure. Tape measure will help you order your canopy. Make sure you get the right one. A hint, a tip and trick I give you is some lubricant. This is a food grade silicone. You don't need food grade silicone. Matter of fact, you can use dishwashing liquid. It's going to help you slide the canopy into the grooves much easier. So I used silicone there. Channel lock, vice grips. You're going to need some large locking vice grips. The larger the better, and you'll see why when you start to compress and decompress that spring. I recommend getting a Sharpie for marking your end caps. You're going to need a razor knife, however, cutting knife you want to use. A file. When you're sliding your canopy in, the grooves, they can be kind of sharp. The entry point to those grooves, I filed mine down, made it smooth so I did not rip the canopy. Hammer. What's a job without using a hammer, guys? I'd say a hammer would take it. And of course, a punch. You'll see why when you start taking off the old rivets. The hammer and punch knock it right out. The drill, I did use a drill with a 5/32 drill bit. That helps to drill out that rivet, and that's when I use the punch and the hammer afterwards, knock it out. All of this is in the video. Make sure you got these things standing by, and your job will go smoothly. Now it's time to remove our old canopy fabric. On this end, we've got our spring locking lever, so that's going to hold it on this end. On the other end, we need a pick or a long, skinny screwdriver. It's going to lock the spring in place so it doesn't go winding up on us. So let's go down there, and I'll show you where this goes. On this end, there's these holes right here, and you want it to release the lever on that end, roll it back a couple turns, and then rotate this until the holes line up, and you can slide this all the way down in. That's going to keep this spring on this end from ratcheting on in up on itself like a crazy spring-loaded snake from death there. You don't want that striking you. Okay, so we got that loaded. So now what we're going to do, make sure you got some sawhorses under each end. And we're just going to cut this tarp canopy and let it sit on these sawhorses. Once you've got that end locked, make sure this end's locked in the roll down position. Just get you a razor knife, and we're just going to cut this all the way across there. Something satisfying about this. Ooh, it's kind of scary. All right, that's going to set down on the sawhorse there. And this is going to, all right, it didn't ratchet up. We are safe. On the end with the roll-up lever, this is the only cap we're going to have to take off. Now, there's this little cover right here, and there's a bolt. It's 7/16. I got a driver here. Go ahead and take this off. Get that bolt out of there, which is going to allow us to take this off, and then we're going to be able to drill out these rivets. Not as scary, guys. I'll show you how to do it. With the bolt out, I'll be able to take off the side arm, just slide it down, set it down just like that, and now we can work on this end cap. The only scary part to this is really this part right here. We do have to release the spring tension so we can pull this end cap off. Get you some vice grips. The largest pair you got, the better. You're going to get them right on the end, get a nice firm grip, click in place, and now we're going to hold on tightly, release the lever so it rolls up, and then we're going to count the number of turns and remember the direction you go, because you're going to wind it up in the opposite direction to tighten it the exact same number of turns, just like this. Everything's nice and tight. I've got my hand firmly on the vice grips. I'll release the lever. Now we have to count. Okay, we're going in the clockwise direction. I'm going to count the number of turns. There's 1. Okay, do not let go of this. 2, 3. Now yours may be different. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's getting easier. 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15. We are locked at 15. Awning manufacturers use rivets instead of screws. There's 3 of them that hold these end caps, these springs on. Now, I'm going to use a 5/32 drill bit, and it's just big enough to drill out that rivet. And these are 3/16" rivets. And I've got a rivet gun and some spare rivets to replace these 3. So that's the only rivet you're going to have to do, and it's much more simple than you think. So let's go ahead and drill these out. Here we go. See that? Okay, that one popped off already. I should have just pop that sucker right off there, and we'll spin this over. I shouldn't have said spin this over because you can't rotate it because the other end's locked, but we can just get our drill bit right here. All right, that one's broke free. We'll be able to pop those out here in just a second. Let's get this side, and we'll get this end cap off. There we go. We'll be able to pop these rivets right out of there. Once you got them drilled out, you should be able to just pop off the heads. Get this in. Boom, that one pops off. I already popped that one off. Let's see here. Pop this one off. Boom, pop that out. Now we're just gonna use a screwdriver or punch, pop the other end of that rivet down there, and this should slide right off. Get our punch or screwdriver right on top of that rivet piece. Pop it. There you go. Pop right out. Make sure to do the same thing on all sides. Pop them into the hole. There we go. Now, this end cap should slide right off and expose the spring. There you go. There's your spring right there. Before we take our end cap off, we're going to mark one of these holes so that way we know exactly where it lines back up when we're done. In order to remove the bottom piece and the valance, we need to separate the two pieces. Get your razor knife, slide right down. This will separate them into two pieces. Yours may already be in two pieces, so you'll be lucky there. This was the awning piece that connected up to the awning. So for this groove here, I'm going to put an A for awning. And then down below on the groove for the valance, I'm going to put a V. Can't forget our pull cord. Pull cord's right here. We'll slide it down, and I'm going to put a P by this groove so I know this is the pull cord. So when we're all done, these letters will tell us where everything goes, the valance, the awning, and the pull cord. So let's go ahead and start by removing the pull cord. It's just that simple, and our kit came with a new pull cord, so we'll slide it right in there, and that part will be done as well. Before we can pull this out, you see this cord right here is bent under. Now, if this was your original awning material, it's going to be the same way on both ends. So we have to cut it on the other end so it can slide out because we didn't take the cap off the other end. So let's go down there and look at that, and I'll show you how we're going to cut it. On this end, this cord goes all the way down through. So we're just going to take our drill bit about an inch or so from the end, drill that so it cuts through that cord. And again, it's just fabric. And now it can slide right out. Look at that. So it's already sliding. Now we can just slide this all the way out, just like that. So that piece is clear. And then we're going to do the same thing to our valance. Cut that little piece and then slide it off. Now the valance is gone, and now we can start working at the top of the awning. You can leave the old canopy hanging here, and when we take the connection off the end and slide it out, if it's a real windy day like we've had, this thing's been flapping around on me, you can go ahead and just cut it. Just be careful what you got behind you. You don't want to cut into your paint job back there, but just cut this off, drop it, and then we'll be able to take off the rest of it with the cord from the end. Before we can get the rest of the canopy material off, we've got to get our little condensate drip line removed, and that's just siliconed in place. We've got our bracket housing, which has 3/8" bolts on it. We'll take both of those out and we'll be able to remove our bracket. And then the canopy itself has a 1/4" screw right there, one on each end, that holds it in place. Once you've got it straightened up with your rails, you put those little screws in. So we'll take those out, make sure we don't lose them, take the 3/8" bolts out of here, out of this bracket, get this drip line off, and we can slide our canopy off and get ready to put our new one on. Used our razor knife, cut out most of that silicone there, and then we'll slide this down out of the way. So now the drip line's out of the way. Let's get the 3/8" bolts, pop those right out. All right. That bracket should just come right off. There we go. Now it slides right off. Now let's get those screws out that hold the rest of the material in. 1/4". Let's see if that comes right out of there. That was pretty easy. And do the same thing on the other end, and we'll get that out. Well, I misspoke there. This end does not have a screw on it. So only the end we inserted it from had the retaining screw. So we don't have to do anything on this end. Should be simple enough. We'll just slide this out. Oh, it's kind of nasty. Oh, yeah. Slide that all the way out of there. I'm going to give you a trick before we put the other one up on how to make this other one go in very, very smooth. Before we slide on a new canopy, I want to make sure that these sharp edges right here are filed down. I don't want any sharp edge to rip our new canopy. So I'm going to file those nice and rounded and smooth. I'm also going to use some silicone spray, and I've got some food grade silicone spray, you don't need that, but any kind of lubricant. And I'm going to spray all the way down this groove there, this track, get that nice and lubricated, and that way our new rod just slides in. We'll do the same thing down there on the main rod where the valance in the bottom goes. We'll spray the silicone in the grooves, and everything should be nice and smooth. We've got our P groove, so we'll slide our new pull cord on. I'm going to slide it down to about the center. Keep that there for now. We'll stretch out our new canopy and get our poly cords. Now, it did come with 2 white ones. Those are going to be for the bottom. We have our black one, that is for the top. So with our canopy stretched out, we're just going to start sliding in this hole up here. till it goes all the way through to the other side. And again, make sure you don't want to have it kinked so it rips a hole in your canopy, that's for sure. So, and we're gonna go just till it's about a couple inches sticking out the other end. And then once it does that, I'll be able to cut off the excess from this end. And we should be right about there. All right, we got it. While I got it stretched out, I'm gonna go ahead and do the loop in the bottom. This is for the valance. Now you notice there's only 2 holes. The third white polycord is gonna be pushed in the groove with that little yellow tool. I'll show you that. So let's slide this one down. Now if you've got a second person, helps on the other end to keep the canopy straight. There's a couple jobs here where 2 to 3 people really help. You can do this with one person, but I don't know. Definitely when you go to slide it on the top, you want at least a second person. So let's get this all the way through, and we are through. Now it's time to hang it. The key here when we're sliding it in is to have someone on that end holding it up high and straight. I don't want it to hang down at all on the top and get caught and rip. So it also helps it slide in so much easier. So let me go ahead and get the top here. I'm gonna get the black. Again, I make sure I got it set the right direction I want it. Slide it in the groove and just start feeding it in straight. And slide it in smooth. Just keep sliding it in smooth. Don't letting it catch. So now we got the first part of the canopy. I started at the top. I support the tube, and if you had a third person to hold the arm down there, we just used a bungee cord. And then my assistant's going to be pulling the tarp out straight, and we're just going to slide both of them down as we go. Slide both of them down as we go. Once enough of it's on, your assistant can then go down to the other end and start pulling. Pull the front one. No. You gotta pull it real smooth, okay? Pull the front one, get it lined up. Now pull the back one. Now that we've got both of them pulled through, we can lower the tube again. Now we lower it down, nice and smooth. Here we go. This one's supported on this arm. Supported over here. There we are. Isn't that beautiful? For the last polycord, we push in with our little tool and we slide in with the little rod right behind it. And it just goes all the way down. Keep feeding it all the way down. Keep the slack on it. And once we get to the other end, we'll be able to cut the slack off this end. Feed me, Seymour, feed me. Now we're going to use a 3/16 by 1/8 rivet. And we've got our rivet gun here. And all we're going to do is stick our rivet gun down in there. And all rivet gun does is when you slide that in there, it squeezes and squeezes the end and makes this end fat. It just squeezes it and gives it a back to it like a nut would on a bolt. And that's all that does. So we're going to stick this in there. We're going to do 3 of these, and that should hold that end cap on very, very tight. Slide our end cap on. We've got our black marks. That's exactly where it was. So now we just got to get our rivet gun loaded. Slide that right down in there. Just do this a few times till it clicks and breaks right off. That one's done. Let's get the other 2 done. Get the other 2 in. Just as simple as that. Lined up. Boom. Lined up. Get that cap on, lined up. Get it in the hole there. Boom. All right. End cap is on. Now we can see how everything rolls up. Now we go to the roll down. I gotta go counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, getting tight, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Lock it in place. Let's get our tube attached to our side bracket. Goes right in the hole there. Here we are. Get our 7/16 inch bolt. Should be lined up. Just get it started. Here we are. Tighten that down. All right, now I've measured the gap between our brackets on each side. Remember, the brackets were already attached, so they're exactly where they were before. We are 3 3/4 inches from our canopy fabric to the bracket on each side, so 3 3/4. So I'll get my 1/4 inch, get a little screw put in here, and that locks the canopy in place. And now I've got about 2 inches on each end of our barrel, our tube, from our canopy to the end of the tube, so that's all lined up as well. Now we can roll it up, roll it back down, and finish up. Now that we got the cap on that end, we can take the screw out of this side, and it should lock in place. There we go, we're good. Let's go ahead and get it up, see how everything lines up, and then we'll get it back down. We'll start with our pull cord in the middle. A little trick when you're rolling it up. This is our first time of rolling it up. Everything should line up perfectly straight. So go ahead and flip this to the up position, hold on to it, okay? And then as I go up with it, I'm gonna walk towards the door, okay? Walk towards the door. Wow, now you can see I've got a little bit of pull cord right there by the door. I can get up on the steps, grab it, bring it down every time. So start it in the center, walk your way towards the door, and that will give you an awesome tip for you to make sure you get your pull cord easy. You don't need the tool to pull it down, all that. Guys, look how straight that looks. The side arms are straight, nice and white and clean. All right, let's take it down, just like that. One of the free accessories with our Suncode awning repair fabric is these S-hooks. These are really convenient when you're out camping, you need to hang some lights or a mosquito repellent or a trash bag, all those type of things. They're really, really easy to install. What you do is here's your clip, and you have one groove. You have one groove on your barrel here that does not have an end to it. And you just slide it in like that. And then when you got it there, you just put your S-hook right in the hole, and now you can put wherever you want it, a candle, a lantern, a trash bag, whatever you want. I like that a lot. That is a cool feature. All right, guys, there you go. Our Suncode RV camper trailer replacement awning fabric looks great. The faded white to silver, I think, matches the decals on our camper trailer very, very nicely. You can see around here we've got maroon and silver. I think that looked really, really good. 12 foot by 8 foot was perfect for us. And the fitment was great. I had no issues with any of the components they sent. Everything was to set point, to specification. And I have no problem with it. We're gonna leave you by putting it up, let you see how we put it up. Again, that tip trick with the pull cord, but there you go. Suncode, great product. Hope you enjoyed watching us repair our camper trailer awning today. If you like these type of videos, I'd sure appreciate it if you subscribe to RidgeLife. It's free. What are you waiting for? Hit that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video comes out on RidgeLife. Guys, we do all kinds of things besides product reviews and how-tos. We have chickens, we have rabbits, we have honeybees, we do hunting, fishing, all kinds of good country life out here on the Ridge. So please join us. And guys, until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed day, and go RidgeLife.